Welcome, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Wednesday, March 19th, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? May I please have the first two cards in our 5-card spread for today? First two cards we are starting our day off with today are the Six of Wands in its reversal, in combination with the Eight of Pentacles in its reversal. Guys, listen to me, okay? We got Mercury in retrograde. I know I'm going to sound like a broken record on this, but it bears repeating. I'm just going to keep on drilling this in right now. All right, we've got Mercury retrograde. We got Venus in retrograde. All right, we're coming out of this Virgo full moon that, again, it's taxing. It's I told you, like, the thing is, it's a lot of that feeling of working through the feeling of perfection. Say it with me. Ready? All in one go. Okay. Perfection is not a location. Perfection is a cardinal direction. All right. Perfection is not a location. Perfection is a cardinal direction. Okay. If you're not feeling perfect, your job is not to be perfect. Okay? It's not. Your job is to do the best that you can, right? Your job is to have perspective. And the thing about this right now is it's fractious, man. It's fractious energy. It's fractious energy. Okay? Venus retrograde, cracked mirror, right? Everything looks ugly. Okay? Mercury retrograde. Everything feels like it's falling apart, right? Mercury's not there to make everything feel like it's falling apart. It's helping you recognize the difference between a groove and a rut. All right. And the thing about it, the reason that it feels like it's hitting such a discordant note right now is that Venus, that Virgo full moon energy, right? Especially in the midst of an eclipse, it makes it feel like the weight of trying to move towards perfection. Especially for those with Pisces placements right now. Like, especially for those with Pisces placements right now. Because I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a little bit easier, I think, right now for those with Aries placements, because there's so many planets in your sign. But for those with Pisces placements, it could be really triggering. There could be a lot of abandonment wounds coming up. It could be a lot of those feelings of anxiety as it relates to working through that. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're feeling like that, you're going through the existential crisis of all the planets that were hanging out in your house that are now shifting into Aries. It's okay, right? We have to go through these periods. So I want you to recognize that right now, because there's a lot of this work. I'm also seeing that it could be hard for Aquarius energy too. I keep on hearing Aquarius and Pisces for some reason. But I want you to and I think for Aquarius, it has more to do with the energy of the nostalgia that's coming through right now with Neptune moving out of Pisces into Aries, because it's hard. I keep on hearing it's hard if you exist in the realm of ideals, right? And the realm of ideals is effectively, right? We're talking here Pisces energy. We're talking Aquarius energy. We're talking not so much Cancer, because Cancer can romanticize anything. but like it's a lot of this work that, like, it's like Les Miserables, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of that feeling of working through that ugliness. But when we're able to find compassion on that journey, and this is why the absolute gift of us having a Leo full moon, but before this month, right? What did we learn there, right? Like, when we're feeling ugly, when we're feeling love, like, flawed, that's where we put the love, right? That's where we put extra effort, right? It's not about moving away from it's not about being flawless right now. It's about embracing those flaws and turning them into facets. It's about appreciating the self, right? Coming into a space of love. And I know, and I'm going to tell you right now, I know if I'm saying that right now and it's grating you to your core, I'm going to say it again. Okay. I'm going to say it again, because I know nobody wants to hear it. because Aries, like with all the planets in Aries, like, it's not that space of wanting to be sentimental. You can be sentimental and still get stuff done. Okay. You can be sentimental and still get a lot of stuff done. So I want you to think about that a lot right now, because here's the thing, like I'm telling you, this is a lot of that, like, like these are those heavy, these heavy notes, right? Now, and I feel like the thing about it, and when I say you can be sentimental and still get stuff done, that's actually coming directly for the energy and separation, right? That's why I kept on hearing that for a lot of the work of the energy and separation right now, the difference between, I keep on seeing like fractious and coming together, like those things are mutually happening right now in separation, right? And I keep on getting the fact that it is like either the conversation of trying to have a conversation with like an individual that's like just talking in the realm of emotions, right? This is why I keep on hearing either someone saying in a moment of frustration, you can be sentimental and still get things done, right? You can be sentimental and still get things done, which is talking about the fracturing in a conversation, right? Someone who wants to dwell too much instead of someone that wants to move forward. Or this is the energy that is built. This is the statement that's building into those new conversations, those new partnerships, right? Working in that space of keep on seeing, it's effect, not affect, right? It's the merging of effect and affect, right? You can still be sentimental and get things done, right? That's what it is like. So, and that's why I keep on seeing that this feels like it's chariot energy, because that is the space that is allowing for some of this healing to come in. And this brings us to the energy that's coming into divine union, right? Because remember, what have we been seeing for a lot of the energy in divine union? Talking about the wound behind the wound, the recognition of the work that one needs to do by looking upon the past in a new way. So it's the same message that's coming through for the energy coming into divine union. You can be sentimental and still get things done. You can do both things at once, because I keep on seeing that that's the energy, that like that's the vibration that the healing is coming through, because this is the energy that like looks back on the past but doesn't look back on the past with a state of regret. They're taking notes, right? It's a lot of that same space of being able to recognize that often we are able to look back on things and see things that we could not see before because of the gift of perspective of where we are presently, right? And that's why we're in a healthy space. We don't want to run back to the past, but that's where nostalgia lives, because nostalgia is looking back upon something and realizing that you can't go back to it because you're no longer the person that inhabited that experience, right? So we've got a lot of like, I'm telling you, here comes Neptune moving. This is the vibe of Neptune moving from Pisces into Aries. You can still be nostalgic and get things done. It's Renaissance energy. It's that same space. While for a lot of the energy that is deep within divine union, that space of transformation, that articulation on that adjustment, that ability of allowing oneself the room to grow and expand and explore. I keep on seeing it feels very expansive right now, but that's where I keep on hearing, like in divine union, that's where a lot of this compassion lives, because it's like I keep on hearing that for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, the love comes through in the ability to give one another the space to be messy, right? Like it's those moments that we feel that sense or that frustration of our own imperfection, that we're able to come into that space of appreciating, of building forth in that degree. It'll like, I keep on hearing, we give each other permission not to feel like we need to be perfect all the time. I'm telling you, like that's where some of this healing is. That's where the healing is coming through on this full moon, because during this eclipse cycle, right? because it's not like it's not I'm going to tell you, it's not a riding high kind of vibration right now. It's not the type of vibration that we often experience during eclipses. It feels a lot like it's like, you have to think of it like this. It's like the volume was just cranked up in the middle of like a very like in like the middle of a distortion point, right? Center card for today's spread. One card, oh, flying out of the, oh, there it is. Oh man, it's all of this Neptune energy right now. It's a lot of this like looking back. It's a lot of this over like it's a lot of this over sentimental and like the thing about it right now, be wary today about being overly sentimental about things. Okay? Like, be very wary today about being overly sentimental about things, because I can already tell what the next few hours are going to be like, because what we're effectively seeing right now, this is Neptune. This is just Neptune pushing out of Pisces into Aries. Okay? It's like, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be, oh man, I can already see this happening. There's going to be there's going to be some confusing conversations that are potentially occurring. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, like in the realm of somebody, some energy feeling sentimental over something another person's been actively healing from. Guys, don't get triggered today. Don't get triggered today. Don't get triggered today. I'm just going to tell you right now, don't get triggered today, because here's the thing. When Neptune moves, like just cue the song Memories. Okay? Just cue the song Memories. Because and we're also going through an eclipse cycle. So it could be a lot of this feeling of looking back on something with like over, and okay, here I'm already gonna start clarifying on some stuff. Listen, hindsight is 2020, because hindsight is faulty. All right, hindsight. Remember that, and this is what we talk about with nostalgia, and this is how we heal from nostalgia. Nostalgia is easy because the nostalgia is the place where everything is beautiful and nothing hurts. Okay? Everything is beautiful and nothing hurts, right? And often, I got to tell you this, we see energy that sometimes escapes into the realm of nostalgia, right? That ability of waxing poetic on something that probably like hurt like all get out at the moment that they experienced it, remembering that nostalgia is its own escape like hatch from feeling anything, right? You can be addicted to nostalgia. You can be addicted to anything. You can be addicted to nostalgia, right? Because it's the same form of escapism, right? It's that sentimentality for a past that did not exist because you've created it in the castle of your mind. So I want you to be like very wary of that right now, or helping, because the thing about it is I see a lot of different polarities right now between conversations that may be feeling like they're hitting a discordant note between someone that is getting very nostalgic about something that they've created in their mind as it relates to what it was versus another person's experience on it. So yeah, there's a lot of that here. There's a lot of this energy. Now, I got to point out for masculine, and this is happening right now, like for masculine and feminine energy in separation right now, bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. I can see the difference. Like one of the things I keep on hearing is, they're saying like it's a lot of that space of recognizing, like I said, you can be nostalgic for the past while still building into the future, right? Like that's where I keep on seeing that there's a lot of this chariot energy. And that's why I keep on seeing that, why I keep on hearing that there's a lot of this fractiousness is potentially happening right now, because I can see some separations that are occurring right now where someone's looking at someone waxing nostalgic on something that hurt them, and the other person saying, this is the same old song, right? This is the same old song, right? It's that moment that we're able to step out of ourselves. I keep on seeing, because Aries is able to like look at something with clarity, right? It's those moments that I keep on hearing. You can be nostalgic and still have direction. You can talk about what you miss while still talking about what you want to create. And that's why I see even now, like, this is where all of these shifts that are occurring, because it's the difference between the energy that is finding, like, providing those directions, providing those points of clarity, almost coming into that space. I even hear some energy saying, I'm sorry I waited so long, right? But even again, I'm sorry I waited so long is still being met with directions, because a lot of that space that we're effectively seeing is articulating upon the fact that there is a lot of that shift occurring. Now, that's why I see a lot of these separations that are occurring right now. If someone is just coming again back in the space of over sentimentalizing upon a past that another person looks at and says, that didn't happen, that didn't exist. What you're finding sentimental, I was trying to change, I was trying to heal from, right? There's a lot of that separation point that we're identifying here. At the same time, I see that there's a lot of this force, or a lot of this intensity that we're building upon in relationality to the expansive partnerships that are growing forth at this time. There's a lot of different directions that are happening right now with this movement, because for those energies, I told you, some of the partnerships that are coming together during this period, that movement between Virgo and the energy between Virgo right now and Aries, it feels like chariot energy. It's building forth in the space of having plans, having that clarity of purpose, moving with a lot of vitality towards that direction. This is why I feel like there's a lot of that force, because this is the energy that says the gift that they give to one another is the clarity of intention, the direction that is focused on going forward, not backward, right? And that's why I keep on hearing that a lot of those partnerships that are coming together right now are being articulated by the energy that says we can be sentimental upon the past while still moving forward to the present. While for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union right now, this is where I keep on seeing that a lot of that healing is taking place, because for a lot of that energy right now working in the vector of the relationship or the understanding of the partnership, that sense or that space of transformation of the self, right? Recognizing and being able to observe something from the past that one could not see. This isn't energy that's trying to race back towards that past, right? It's in the moment that we can see something that we could not see before, that we hold the space of being appreciative for how far we have come. So that's why I keep on hearing that this is a lot of that energy sharing that journey with one another, articulating upon it, because it's in that space of being able to do so that the energy I keep on seeing, it's like the energy that's almost saying, I don't know what happens from here, but I am excited for it. Right? I don't know what's what I don't know where I like, I see the energy saying, I don't know who I'm becoming or what I'm becoming, but the fact that I'm doing so with you, like that is that space that it's almost like the energy that like they're having a breakthrough. Right. And the breakthrough is being able, and here's the thing, having the breakthrough is looking back at a version of self that they can now see what the problem was, right? Like that's where some of, like I told you, it's not the fact that this energy isn't like, in the right places. It can be very expansive. That is the that is exactly the kind of expansion point that we're talking about, right? It's being able to see something with clarity and going, ooh, right? While for masculine and feminine energy, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to, deep within divine union, this is like a lot of, like, I just keep on hearing, and I got to check on this. I don't know, like, there's a lot of this compassion that's coming through. There's a lot of, like, I keep on hearing this, like, wave of emotion. And a lot of that wave of emotion is coming through in the space of embracing and saying to one another, like that compassion that we give each other to be messy, right? That compassion that we give one another, as we're working towards our own sense of perfection, right? That encouragement, that definition point, that understanding and being able to articulate upon something. There's a lot of that space that I'm seeing here that, and I keep on seeing this, like, I keep on hearing the energy that's saying to one another deep within divine union, like, I'm not perfect. And the energy saying, I don't want you perfect. I want you as you, right? I want you in your authentic state. Because again, when we care about one another, I need to point this out. When we care about one another, and this is what we talk about in the fact that we talk towards the fact that love makes all of our flaws facets. Think about the person you care about. Do you love them because they are perfect? Or do you love them for those eccentricities? Do you love them for all of those things that make them uniquely themselves, right? In the eyes of love, flaws become facets, and that doesn't mean that we don't try to move towards our highest self. But it's a space of feeling that every step of that journey, we are in the arms of the embrace of love, right? Because it's that space of forgiveness of the self as we move towards that point that feels like it's ever expansive. It encourages us to grow. Fourth and fifth cards in our 5-card spread for today are, we've got here our 10 of swords in combination with the Hangman, which is going to be the next card that we're going to be learning about in our tarot church journey. I'm very excited to teach this card because this card's wild. We're going to be talking about that a lot. But this is the thing about it. This is what I got to tell you right now. This eclipse is bottom of the barrel energy. It's bottom of the barrel energy. It feels gross. It's like, it's rough around the edges. It's spiky. It's it's a lot of this, like, but I gotta tell you, I'm gonna say it again, and you're gonna say why, and I'm just gonna look at you and say, because we're going through a Mercury retrograde, everything's breaking. We're going through a Venus retrograde, everything's ugly. We're going through, and then we're coming out of a Virgo full moon, everything must be perfect. Okay, like, and then the eclipse just turned that up to 11, right? Like it's a discordant note, man. It's a discordant note, but that's why, again, like, finding that, like, in that, I gotta say, like, in those moments that everything feels like it's fracturing, we can lend our own voices to it. The higher self always says that. It's those moments or those opportunities where we feel difficult, right? When we're hard on ourselves. Those moments of compassion that we give ourselves, that we often feel reborn, right? Because it's a lot of that work. And I got to tell you right now, like, there's a lot of that. I keep on seeing that with a lot of that space of Neptune moving out of Pisces into Aries, like that I keep on seeing, like, the only difficulty thing that I want you to be, like, very mindful of right now is not getting caught up in the space of over sentimentality, right? Not, remember, like, working through the concept of the past. The past the past always looks better. The past always looks brighter, right? Not when we're experiencing it, but through the eyes of the self. It's very easy to over sentimentalize something that was just as difficult as the space that you find oneself in now, right? So I just want you to be conscientious of that, because I do feel like there's a lot of this force of weight to a certain extent that, like, and again, when we carry that with a sense of compassion for the self, we remember that is that moment, that the present is like, it's almost that space that being able to do so allows oneself to anchor in the present, so long as you build upon clarity in relationality to what you see behind you versus what you see before you. Continuing to get clarification between our 6 of Wands in its reversal and the 7 of Pentacles in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now. There you go. It's the 9 of Pentacles as well, right? It's feeling, I keep on seeing here, like, that's the thing. It's like, how do I describe this best? It's like, we're going to talk a little bit about ideals. And this is why I'm going to tell you right now, For those that work more in the space of ideals, that's why I'm putting like a lot of compassion right now for those who are in Pisces, those who are in Aquarius, those who have a very fixed focus of the ideal in the mind space, right? You know, there's a lot of that work of like the major lesson that we're working through right now is remembering that perfect, right? Perfect is not a place is not a destination. It's not a location. You cannot pin it on the map. Everywhere we are, everything feels like there's a little bit more that we can reach towards, right? There's a little bit more beyond the self. So when we're in that space, right? And especially with the amplification that we're experiencing right now with the eclipse, you know, that overwhelm or that desire for perfection and not seeing it anywhere, right? Almost feeling like you're seeing the worst, right? A lot of that distortion, if you will. You have to put the compassion there for the self. You have to bring the love in, because recalling and not allowing oneself to be overwhelmed by it, remembering and recalling that when we see situations, I keep on hearing, when we see situations that are not ideal, we can either recoil from them or feel that they are a calling. I'm going to say that again. When we discover situations that are not ideal, we can either choose to recoil from them or see it as a calling, right? Those moments that we see something that is less than ideal, we can get volatile, right? We can move away from it. You know, we can turn our backs from it, or we can look towards something and say, what can I do to make something energetically better? What can I do to improve upon the situation? So I want you to think about that a lot today. If you're feeling a lot of that messiness, don't recoil from it. Look at it as a calling. Ask yourself, what can I do to improve something? Because this type of energy is all about resolution. It's all about setting those intentions, right? It's finding, right? And I'm telling you right now, we're going to go through all of the work here. Like the Mercury retrograde cycles are not here to destroy your life. Okay. Like, I know it sometimes feels like it, but the Mercury retrograde cycles are here to help you recognize the difference between a groove and a rut. And sometimes the only way we innovate is when something energetically breaks. Because that moment that something breaks, in that moment, we sometimes find a better way of doing something, right? In which case, thank you, Mercury retrograde. Or we say, no, I liked it the way it was. we go back to the place that we were. It helps us identify a groove or a rut. While for the Venus retrogrades are all lessons about finding compassion in the self. Right? And that's why this one is having so much of this intensity, because honestly, I know it feels like the worst time, but it's actually the best time to have a Venus in retrograde, because your job is not to be perfect. And when you ask yourself what perfection is, you have to ask yourself what that ideal is, right? So if you're feeling that right now, let that set that, instead of feeling the weight of the unnameable perfection that you feel like you're not reaching right now, ask yourself, write it down. Say to yourself, how can I change this? What am I not satisfied with, right? Let that serve as your map. Now, for masculine and feminine energy that is in separation, this is why I either see there's a lot of energy right now. I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of direction that's happening. Either things falling, like things coming apart. Like I keep hearing chapters that are closing and chapters that are opening right now, right? And I keep on hearing that the overarching words around those chapters are, again, you can be sentimental and still get things done. You can be sentimental and still get things done, right? The ability of articulating upon not being hooked on a feeling, not just the feeling of something, not just the feeling that we feel within one another, but feeling the expansive point of what that direction is, right? Feels good is good, right? Those moments that we feel that amplification of something that feels good and we also like the direction that it's going in, that often feels like it's in accordance with our higher self, because not only does it feel good, but it is good for us. We've got clarity of perception, and it also feels like a heart opening. But again, sometimes when we have a lot of feelings, but there's no direction, feels good doesn't feel good. Right? It feels good, but it doesn't feel good. It feels good because it serves the needs of the emotions, but it feels desperate because we don't know where we're going. We feel like we feel like we're in the dark. We don't have any clarity on something. So that's why I keep on seeing there's either a lot of energetic connections that are coming together right now via V, and that's why I told you the partnerships that are coming together right now during this like eclipse cycle. Just get out of their way. Get out of their way, because there's a lot of that. There's like a lot of that intensity. They're on a mission. They're like, it's Virgo Aries, right? It's like Wonder Twins. It's like whatever we do, it's powerhouse energy, because they've got the same intentions. They're giving each other the same directions. They're saying to one another, as long as we have the same direction, there's nothing that we cannot do, right? While for a lot, at the same time, I see a lot of separations that are coming through, or someone healing and saying a lot of feeling no direction, right? A lot of energy coming into a point of closure with the articulation point of saying a lot of feeling no direction. For the energy coming into divine union, this is the clarification point. As we saw, some of this Neptune energy feeling transformative, because it's the energy that in the moment that we realize we're not perfect, we become more perfected. In the moment that we recognize that we are not perfect, we become more perfected, because in that moment or in that space, we see the things that we need to see that allow us to become the things that we desire to become, right? You have to confront that messiness, right? It's a lot of that journey. It's like it's being able to navigate the discomfort of the self. But there's a profound amount of transformation that occurs in those moments. While for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, this is, I keep on hearing, the space of compassion, it becomes ever expansive in those moments or in those modalities where we find the forgiveness to be ourselves, right? When we are embraced in the arms of finding the space where we are allowed to be our authentic selves. And in that moment, we say to ourselves, and that's the thing about it, like, this is why I keep on seeing, like, there's like a beautiful amount of love that's happening in these spaces, because this is the energy that feels the crushing weight of the desire or the demand or the need of the self to be perfect, right? The calling to the higher self is, as it were, and the voice of love that says, you're perfect just as you are. You know what I mean? You're perfect just as you are, right? But that doesn't stop you from moving in that direction, continuing to get clarification between our Six of Pentacles in its reversal in combination with our Seven of Swords in its upright. May I please have one card to clarify? Come on, I know you want to come out. Do it. Thank you. We have here, there it is. We've got our Wheel of Fortune, right? The constant is change. The constant is change. I know it's hard. It's difficult, right? It's sometimes, and I got to tell you, this is why sometimes in the moments we embrace change, right? Some moments we fear it, right? We talk a lot about this. We did a lot of conversation on this in our recent tarot class where we focused on the Wheel of Fortune card, right? The way that we navigate change often speaks very much to helping us articulate how we feel or where we are in life. I want you to think about those times in the past where you weren't in a great place. Change felt like welcoming arms, right? It felt like a wave of relief. Sometimes you have some other moments we build in that space where we feel anxiety towards change, right? But that ability of understanding and working through that expansion point, this is why we talk about the fact that relationships that are conducive in us staying the same are always built to break, right? This is why we don't build into the space of expectation in another, right? Because when we build into an expectation that we will always stay the same. And this is why when we build into relationships that are built entirely on captivation instead of expansion, I keep on getting they're built into a context of not necessarily being able to be right from the start, because change is inevitable, right? But if we're in that space where we're constantly demanding too much change from another in order to perpetuate partnership, or we're requiring another not to change, this is often when we start to hit some of those dissimilarity points, specifically and particularly because the healthy partnership is one that is flexible to change. Right? It is like elastic. It is one that welcomes change. And this is why we talk about the fact that the healthy partnerships are ones that build towards intention, right? The surrendering of expectation in another that allows for the expansion as it relates to the path, work, and purpose, and then seeing the flourishing of what occurs between one another as you move forward towards that destination. And I'm telling you right now that there's something that's very important that's happening for energy and separation as it relates to building into the understanding of looking at situations. I keep on seeing energy looking at situations from the past and the present to be able to articulate and define what feels like it has the possibility of expanding, what feels like it is moving in a direction, versus what feels like it's just languishing in the space of the emotions, but lacking that certitude of direction. Now, and that's why I keep on seeing, that's why I keep on hearing some chapters closing right now and some chapters opening. Now, for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union, that amplification of change, I keep on seeing like this is that moment that even if the energy is looking back on the past, this is why that energy is looking back on the past and they're recognizing that the nostalgia is coming through. This is energy. I keep on hearing energy coming into divine union right now is there is nostalgia being created that is healing. Why? Because what is the word nostalgia beyond the ability to look back on a past fondly, but not feverishly, right? Nostalgia is the ability to look back on a past and feel sweetness towards it instead of pain. And so I keep on hearing that there's a lot of healing that is coming through right now because there's energy coming into divine union that is building nostalgia for something. And that space of identifying something that they were not perfect, right? Having that longing to go back to something, but recognizing and realizing that they're no longer the person that could inhabit that space. This is often where the realm of nostalgia occurs. So I just keep on seeing that there's something about the nostalgia right now for the energy coming into divine union. It doesn't feel painful. It feels profound. It feels revelatory. I keep on hearing the energy say, I can look at that now and it doesn't hurt anymore. Right? In the moment someone says, I can look at that now and it doesn't hurt anymore, that nostalgia forms. While for masculine and feminine energy that is deep within divine union, I keep on seeing that for a lot of that energy, deep within divine union right now, there's something really, I keep on seeing there's something really, there's a lot of this work in terms of building into the present moment, you know? And I keep on seeing that that's a lot of the energy that is working in the context of, I keep on seeing, trying to identify and recognize what works. What's interesting, everybody this is I keep on hearing like and that's why I keep on hearing this energy, like the energy deep within divine union's also in chariot energy right now. But this is the energy that's like, I keep on seeing, is just trying to recognize what works versus what doesn't. It's trying to build into efficiencies. And there's a lot of that. I keep on seeing like the sentimentality that's occurring in some of those spaces with the energy that's deep within divine union is the feeling or modality of wishing that one could be in many different places at once, but only understanding, like, I keep on seeing the energy being like, what feels like it can have the most impact. Like where does, like, I keep on telling you guys, like, there's a lot of this space I keep on seeing that is being navigated right now for the energy deep within divine union that is very much built upon the context of trying to find more efficient, effective ways of doing things. Continuing to get clarification between Seven of Swords in combination with our 10 of Swords. Oh, this energy today. I told you, it's bottom of the barrel. Yeah, it's King of Wands in its reversal. It is having a different impact on masculine and feminine energy, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. So for the energy, here's the thing. I keep on seeing, and this is really important right now. Matt, like, I'm going to say, like here, and this is effectively what I'm seeing here right now is the amplification of the Venus in retrograde, right? Nobody's got any patience. Everyone's feeling energetically rejected. Everyone's feeling really hard on the self. I see for a lot of the masculine energy right now, like, there's a lot of this. How do I describe this best? That space or that ability of understanding, and I keep on seeing for masculine energy, like, I keep on hearing it has to do with why it's like, I keep on hearing it's hard to build in the space. It's like it's hard to, I keep on getting, it's like it feels like it's hard to be able to feel creatively motivated at this moment. But they're saying again, it has to do with a lot of the, I keep on saying it's a lot of this, like it's like crabby energy. Like that's the best way I can describe it. Like it's cranky. Like it's cranky. It's a lot of that, like, and here's the thing about it. I want to, like, the thing that I think that's going to happen here is, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that Neptune is shifting into this space, right? And a lot of that work that we're seeing to a certain extent is, how do I describe this best? It's basically, it's trying to build into, like, getting very, I keep on seeing, trying to do something in a very fast way. So I want to say this right now, especially for masculine energy, I don't want you to feel triggered, because a lot of that feeling of being energetically triggered right now, and I got to tell you this, like, everybody right now is working in, there's too much energy in Aries, right? And the thing is, when there's too much energy in Aries, everybody feels like everybody's getting on each other's nerves, right? And so I want to say this especially, and I feel like this is especially going to be hard for masculine energy, because it feels like the masculine energy having to potentially deal with, like, that volatility point of, like, when and I need to point this out, when someone's not in a healthy place, like the type of energy that's like, I'm not feeling good and I need to make it everybody else's problem. It's like a lot of that type of energy. So don't take it personally. Remember, it's not you. Everybody's going through it right now, right? Everybody's going through it. So just be mindful of that to a certain extent. Don't overly internalize it. Let it lead forth with compassion. For feminine energy right now, I see this more in the space of, I want to say, this is just, it's irritability. I'm going to tell you right now, it's irritable. Like, it is irritable energy. It is feeling uncomfortable. It's like potentially feeling uncomfortable, like in the space, like I told you, it's the aftershock of some of this, like a lot of this, like Virgo full moon energy. It can feel very exacting, right? And so, like, for feminine energy right now, I'm actually feeling like this might be a little bit, I'm not sure why I'm getting this, but, like, there's something about the feminine being able to navigate this a little bit more, like, easily, because feminine energy is more in a space of being able to work through discomfort is what's coming through. So just be mindful of that. I keep on hearing the overarching word is don't make it feel like it's happening to you. Look at a situation and see what you can assume everybody else is feeling it too, right? Continuing to get clarification between our 10 of Swords in combination with our Hangman energy. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with the 7 of Pentacles in its reversal. So just a reminder right now, as you're navigating a lot of this feeling of irritability, as you're navigating a lot of this like work in the space of discomfort or uncomfortability, I want you to think a lot about those spaces or places that allow you to have that place of breakthrough. Because here's the thing about it, especially with this Virgo, like especially with that, I have to tell you right now, there's so much of this energy that makes you feel like you want to throw in the towel, right? I'm just going to tell you right now, because it's that feeling that like what you put forward doesn't feel like it's enough. It's a feeling of feeling easily frustrated. I'm going to reaffirm this right now. Okay, I'm going to reaffirm this. The energy right now is conducive to making you feel like everything is effectively breaking, right? But that space of not allowing, I keep on thinking, when everything feels like it's breaking, don't allow oneself to feel energetically broken. Come into that space of recognizing and understanding what feels supportive, what feels fundamental, what feels expansive. Because all of this work that we're seeing right now, I told you, it feels like a little bit of that, like this eclipse energy feels a little bit like that bottom of the barrel energy. When we put compassion there, we immediately come into that space of breakthrough, right? It's in that moment that we identify that allows for that expansion point. Now, I have to say this, for the energy in separation, I keep on seeing this is giving the clarification point in relationality to what feels like it is directional, what feels like it has that force of movement, what feels like it's building into the context of those plans versus those moments or situations or opportunities that I keep on seeing feel like there's a lot of emotionality there, but not that space of directionality. So everything I keep on hearing right now is based or built upon direction. So again, make sure that you're having those conversations right now. You're making sure that you're on the same page. You're understanding what those productivity points are. And that's going to kind of avoid any of that. I keep on seeing any of that issue in relationality to that space of trying to dwell upon something versus what feels like it is practical. Now, for the energy coming into divine union right now, it feels a lot like, I keep on hearing the energy coming into divine union that, I keep on hearing the energy saying it's a lot and I have a lot of work to do. Why is the energy saying it's a lot, but I have a lot of work to do? Because there's a lot of the energy that we're seeing here that is coming into divine union, that when we recognize the wound behind the wound, when we recognize the thing that we're trying to heal behind the thing that we thought we needed to heal, it's like, it's a lot of that. I keep on seeing, it's like, it feels like the reason it feels scorpionic is because it feels like it's change, but it doesn't feel like the kind of change that is built upon elation. It feels like the type of change that like needs to be navigated from a point of discomfort or leaning into the discomfort. While for masculine and feminine energy right now that is deep within divine union, I just keep on seeing that there's something really profound and fundamental that is occurring there, specifically and particularly in the direction or in the shape of recognizing and finding one's own true sense of self, or coming into a space of articulating upon that. Because everything that we see here that is coming through in that way, the thing that I feel like is so profound about that is I just keep on seeing, and this is where all of that work from the Leo full moon is coming full tilt, the compassion or the space of compassion that we give ourselves allows for that space of, I keep on seeing like embracing that messiness, right? And that's the beauty. Like it's a lot of that space of like, again, what did we work through last month, right? Everything feeling like a mess. And when everything feels like a mess and we bless that mess, we recognize that that space of being energetically messy, or that isn't something that is separate from the experience of being the self. That is the part that is part and parcel of it. Continuing to get clarification between our Nine of Pentacles in its reversal in combination with our 10 of our Wheel of Fortune. And it's interesting too, we've got a lot of 10 cards arriving right now. We have here the Fool card in its reversal. So a lot of this work that we're seeing right now, as I said, we don't see the Chariot card out here, but it feels very much like Chariot energy. It feels very much like Chariot energy because I just keep on seeing that there's a lot of that force of movement as it relates to directionality. And I'm going to just show you like these two cards in combination are effectively the Chariot, right? Like we've got here, like you take the Wheel of Fortune and you take the Fool card and you put them together and you've got the Chariot energy, right? Because, and this is what's beautiful about this, and this is why we talk about the space, that it's not about moving away from not making. I keep on seeing, here's the thing that's really important about this. Okay, there's something really vital that's coming through upon this. So remembering, where does wisdom come through? Right? Where does wisdom come through? Wisdom comes through the space of making mistakes, right? We just need to talk about this. Wisdom is connected, is not separate from making mistakes. Wisdom is found via the ability of moving into spaces, of being energetically experimental, of trying things, right? Being able to put yourself forward in that way, right? And that's the thing, like this is why it's starting to feel like there's a lot of Aries lessons that are coming through on this, because you'll remember, how are Aries and Gemini energy the same? Aries and Gemini energy do not believe that failure exists, right? Aries and Gemini energy do not look at mistakes from the perspective of the fact that they did something wrong. Every time they've done something wrong, this is the energy that says, I just learned a way that wasn't right. There's a lot of that, like there's a lot of that work in that context. So there's a lot of this force that I'm seeing here that is talking towards the ability of recognizing and understanding and embracing. I keep on seeing embracing a lot of that ability of the self, right? To allow oneself, like I keep on hearing, allowing oneself that messiness, allowing oneself that ability, because it's in that moment that we are energetically creative. It's in those moments that we allow for those expansion points, that we're constantly finding ourselves in a place or in a space of learning, right? It's almost like it's like I keep on seeing it is almost like the stumble that we keep on catching ourselves upon, right? It's that moment that we allow ourselves to, like the space of being clumsy to a certain extent almost allows us, like I keep on hearing when we allow ourselves to be clumsy, we also allow ourselves to dance, right? It's almost like that space here. And so I keep on seeing that there's something really important. The reason that message is coming through for the energy and separation is because I almost recognize that for a lot of the energy and separation, that ability of doing so, right? That ability of being able to speak towards what feels like it is intentional, being able to come into those pathworks of wisdom, being able to articulate. I keep on seeing that there's a lot of the energy and separation that's saying, make no mistake, it's not that I require something to be perfect, but I want it to be in that point of expansion. I want it to be in that space of progressing in the direction that it needs to be in, that we kind of see that for a lot of the energy there, it's allowing for, like I keep on seeing the energy that says, you know, it not only do we have direction, but we're giving each other permission to be clumsy as we move forward in that direction, right? So there's a lot of that. I keep on seeing there's a lot of that clarification that I see right now that's occurring for the energy and separation that almost allows for that space of saying to oneself that, and I keep on seeing like, in progress does not need to be perfect, but it needs to be there, right? While for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union, something that we're recognizing and identifying that's occurring right now for the energy coming into divine union has to do with the, like, again, appreciating the past version of self, being able to look upon the past version of self and have notes. That's why I see this energy as not existing in a space of regret as it relates to any of the feelings of nostalgia that they may be carrying. Why do we see that a lot of the energy in that capacity is not holding regret? Because if this is the energy that appreciates where they are, right? If there's that appreciation point in terms of the progress that they've made to a point, that ability of looking back on something and understanding and holding that space sacredly, the nostalgia that one has, the big, like the thing I keep on seeing right now is there's a lot of the work that the energy coming into divine union is doing right now in terms of articulating what it looks like as they go forward, right? The laying of those plans, the building forth in that directionality. Now, for masculine and feminine energy, that is deep within divine union right now, this is why it feels very much like Scorpio energy, because it's uncomfortable, right? The thing about the thing about Scorpio energy is it exists in the space. Like the gift that Scorpio energy has is an ability to find comfort in uncomfortability. Right? Like it's like that, like and if you meet a lot of those with Scorpio placements, they don't shy away from things that are uncomfortable. Sometimes they seek them out. But like a lot of that space of doing so, why does Scorpio energy often exist in the space of moving with eagerness towards uncomfortability? Because Scorpios often recognize that it's in those moments that we're able to face the uncomfortable that we find that we learn something, that we grow, right? We don't shy away from that work. We move with more investiture towards it. So I keep on seeing that there's a lot of this energy right now that is like the compassion that is occurring right now in terms of experiencing some of that discordant note of all of this energy that we're experiencing with this like disharmony, if you will, in the spheres. The best way to describe it, there's disharmony in the spheres right now, is by coming into a space of recognizing that often moments of disharmony allow us for the path points of greatest expansion. Continuing to get clarification between our Wheel of Fortune in combination with our King of Wands energy in its reversal, may I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with the Two of Cups in its reversal. As I said, there's something really important to note right now as it relates to, and I keep on seeing this, working through the lack of perfection, right? Working through the lack of perfection. And because I'll tell you right now, and this is why I'm telling you, for those signs that like to hold on to ideals, this is going to be very hard stuff. If you are someone who's got a lot of Aquarian placements, if you're someone who's got a lot of Virgo placements, if you're someone who's got, and especially for those who've got a lot of Pisces placements right now, okay? I want you, like, if you're just focusing right now on taking care of yourself, if you're focusing on making sure that you're in a good place, that's good. Okay, that's okay, because the thing is the thing about this energy right now is it almost feels like it's amplifying the fact that circumstances and situations are less than ideal. Okay, it's like I told you, I want you to imagine that there was like a moment of like energetic distortion, and now the eclipse has just cranked it up. So where, like, if you're feeling that weight, that crushing weight that says you're not perfect, nothing is perfect, everything is ugly, love does not exist in the space of perfection. Love exists in the space that we find one another where we are and we love each other there, right? And so I keep on seeing that the thing about some of this energy right now, and and here's the thing. I don't want to alarm anybody. I don't want to alarm anybody. But the thing about this here is I see a lot of potential amplification that's occurring right now with the movement of Neptune out of Pisces into Aries as it relates to nostalgia, as it relates to sentimentality. And you know, I would not be surprised if I don't see some situations that are occurring during time periods like this, where again, someone comes towards another feeling very, very nostalgic, right? Like almost talking about the amplification of feeling that they have towards something, and potentially another individual in a conversation saying it was never the lack of feeling that was the problem, right? Because what happens, feeling without direction often doesn't feel ideal. It feels like that was the like that like I that like that's I can see some energy. Like, do you see like some energy saying like, I want to sing to you the song of what you mean to me, and another person being like, the song is the problem. The song isn't going anywhere. Like the song like this, it's about where it's going. It's not about the feeling of the emotion. It's like the emotion with the direction. So I can see even now like there could be a little bit of that issue that's occurring here. You know, like it's almost like someone being like, but I love that song, and being like, the song's the problem. Meanwhile, I see a lot, but at the same time, I see a lot of new energetic connections that are coming through as it relates to mutually shared goals, mutually shared direction, right? The energy that says to one another, you can have a lot of feelings and still go somewhere. You can have a lot of feelings and still go somewhere. Continuing to get clarification, and that's what the energy coming into divine union and deep within divine union is working through. Continuing to get clarification between our King of Wands energy in combination with our Seven of Pentacles in its reversal. One card to clarify, please. We've got here the Emperor in its reversal. So. And again, and here's the thing about it too. Masculine energy right now, I need to stress this. There's something I just want to, I'm going to say this again please, if you're a masculine watching this right now, I'm going to tell you right now, there might be some masculine energy that is not carrying this energy as well as you might be. If you're here listening to this, like, hopefully I'm giving you, like, you're recognizing if you're feeling a little short-tempered, if you're feeling a little temperamental, if you're feeling a little of this, like, try me energy, for the love of everything holy, remember that that's the Aries retrograde that's getting to you. Okay? Like, that's the Aries. There's a lot of planets in Aries right now. Okay? And if someone comes towards you, I'm going to say this again. I'm going to be your cosmic mother for a minute. Okay? I don't care who started it. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I don't care what they said. I don't care that you didn't deserve to be treated like that. Okay? I don't care. You do not match energy. Okay? You set the energetic standard. Okay? You set the energetic standard. Okay? I don't care. Remember, it doesn't matter who started it. You always have the opportunity to, don't make an example, be the example. Okay? Don't like, don't want to like, cause meh, okay. I don't want to hear it. I don't want any of you coming to my reading today telling me, but I don't want to hear no buts. Okay. I don't want to hear it. I don't care who started it. Okay. You don't have to be the one to finish it. Okay. Now for feminine energy right now, for feminine energy and separation right now, I feel like what I'm basically saying here is, I think that, I mean, like, there's a lot of the feminine energy understanding here that, again, and that's why I keep on seeing that this might be more triggering for feminine energy for what I'm seeing right now for the energy and separation, because it's very much more of a culmination of what we've been seeing during this retrograde, which is, again, a surplus is not a direction. right? The feelings want things. They don't tell us where they're going. So I keep on seeing, like, I see energy. I keep hearing the feminine energy saying, I don't want to hear about how great I am. I don't want to hear my virtues extolled. I don't want to hear, I hear the feminine energy going, I don't want to hear, like, I want to hear where it's going. I see the energy going, I want to hear where it's going. I want to hear where it's going. Like, it's like, I just keep on seeing a lot of this feminine energy that's in that space. Like, I keep on seeing like a lot of that energy that of the feminine that says, and I can feel like this energy, like I can almost feel this energy that says like, that's almost saying to some of the masculine energy, you prefer to be nostalgic towards me than provide direction, right? Like that's the energy that says if you're nostalgic, but you're not building the context of what is real, then that's almost the feminine energy looking towards masculine and saying, am I real or am I a figment of your imagination? Right? Because it's in that space. That's why I keep on seeing that there's a lot of this energy looking at something. And that's why we have those moments that someone over sentimentalizes something and another person's like, I didn't experience it like that. This is the energy that almost looks to masculine and says, I'm not a figment, I'm real. Like the energy going, I'm not, like I'm allowed to, like that space of existing in the context of what allows for that amplification point that creates that space of, again, the sentimentality that becomes the energetic reality. So there's something really profound and expansive there but I have to say that a lot of it is coming through the space. And that's why I told you it's because the Virgo Aries combination is such that it doesn't dwell, like Aries and Virgo do not dwell in the realm of sentiment. They don't dwell in the realm of nostalgia, right? That's one thing that Aries and Virgo energy share in kind, right? They have that, like Aries and Virgo energy have that ability of looking back on the past, not with sentimental, like with a little bit of that space of clear eye, continuing to get clarification between our Fool card in its reversal and the two of Cups in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify? Clarification. Two cards to clarify right now. Yeah, and there it is. There's the thing. Like, this is Seven of Cups in its reversal with Ace of Cups in its reversal, right? I keep on hearing that that's the thing about this. I keep on hearing that there's something happening with this transfer of Neptune crossing into Pisces, into Aries. That is almost, I see energetic conversations of someone saying nostalgia doesn't fix things. Fixing things fixes things. Nostalgia doesn't fix things. Fixing things fixes things. And that's why I keep on seeing, and that's like, I'm hearing that happening across all the frequencies, right? Because it's like, that is the transformation point of Neptune moving out of Pisces into Aries, right? It's often when we're too nostalgic for something that we don't free our hands up to do something in the present, right? Often like when someone's too nostalgic, right? This is what can feel like it can feel frustrating in connection, because if someone's always like articulating upon what they could have done, they're not doing something. You know what I mean? Like if the energy is like when you exist too much in the past, or when you long too much for a past, you let the present slide away, and there's energy that gets trapped in the past because they're always sentimentalizing something instead of appreciating it in the moment. So I just keep on seeing that there's a lot of that space here, which is why I keep on seeing that this is like a lot of this like moment, like this is not the time to come towards someone. This is not the time to come towards someone like overly articulating upon sentiment without direction, because especially with that Neptune from Pisces into Aries, this is the energy that almost like looks at something to a certain extent and says, nostalgia doesn't fix anything. Fixing things fixes things. And this is the energy that is potentially building into new energetic connections right now with someone that is articulating same, that says, I don't exist in the past, I exist in the present. Rest assured, I keep on hearing the energy saying, I'm not trying to fix. I keep on hearing the energy saying that's moving into divine union right now. Rest assured, I'm not fixated on the past. right? I'm nostalgic. Like this is the energy. It says, I'm not trying to change something. I'm not trying to change something from the past. I'm focused on what is real in the present, right? Like there's a lot of that work there. Continuing to get clarification and between our Two of Cups in its reversal in combination with our Emperor card in its reversal. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with our Five of Swords in its upright. Man, and I'm just going to tell you, here's the thing. There's so many cards right now on the table that look towards the past. I'm just going to tell you right now, okay? Like I already see the direction this day is going in, my friends. Because we've got here, look, we got the five of Swords here. We got the Seven of Swords and the Five of Swords out. We've got we've got the Nine of Pentacles with the Six of Wands. It's a lot of this, like, oh, there it goes. Like, it's a lot, like, okay, there's a lot. Oh, there it goes. Like, it's good. Make it productive, right? It's not to say, listen, I need to point out, nostalgia is, when I keep on hearing, when we give nostalgia wings, it becomes Renaissance energy, right? When we are able to articulate upon something, when we're able to build into the context of understanding, right? We look towards something with sentimentality, and we're able to allow it to shape our present. There's a lot of that. There's like a lot of that work that I'm seeing there to a certain degree. So I want you to think about that, because, something that I'm seeing here that is very important. It says to me that a lot of that ability of doing so, like that expansion point or that recognition of those changes, there's all of this, like I keep on hearing, like this is the ground from which new things can grow, right? This is the ground from which new things can grow. And that ability to identify that ability to kind of look at this, and I keep on describing this right now as the fact that a lot of this, I keep on describing that this energy that we're experiencing right now in the eclipse cycle, it feels like incubation energy. It feels like the space of being able to plant seeds to allow them the space to grow. There's a lot of those points of expansion that are occurring in these moments. And a lot of it is being built upon or based upon the context of being able to articulate what it is that you want to build. That's why I keep on hearing the thing about this retrograde and this eclipse energy is it's like chariot energy, but it's like chariot energy in the fact that, like, when you start moving something, when something starts moving, it feels messy. It feels clunky. It feels part in our appearance. It feels a lot of that, like I keep on hearing like that grind energy, if you will, right? But often it's that ability of working through that grind and not getting frustrated that allows for something to gain energetic momentum, right? And so that's why I keep on hearing, like, this is a difference, because there's something that's very important that's happening right now for energy that is helping to define the difference between a grind and a drag. Okay? a grind and a drag, right? A grind is something that you enjoy putting that energy and effort in. A drag is something that feels like it, and that's why this Mercury retrograde is that's why the Mercury retrograde is hitting different this time, because instead of helping you understand the difference between a groove and a rut, it's helping you recognize the difference between a grind and a drag. Final card for today's spread between our Ace of Cups in its reversal, our Eight of Cups in its reversal, and our Five of Swords. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with our Knight of Wands, right? And so that's the thing about it. Like, I just keep on seeing that there's there's something really beautiful in I told you. And this is why it feels like spring energy, right? Like they're thinking about the fact that in those moments when everything looks messy, right? When there's nothing on the ground, like that like all of a sudden that small shoot comes up, right? All of a sudden something springs forth. And so like I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that a lot as you're navigating this type of energy, right? I want you to think about this as a time as planting those seeds, right? I want you to think about that this time as being one that allows you, if you feel like again, it's not moving towards the ideal. It's remembering that the way you move towards an ideal is you have to be able to get messy, right? Like if you want to build something, you have to be in the space of being able to work in that space of understanding that you move to perfect by getting messy first, right? Like when you're planning a flower, you put your hands in the dirt first. When you're building something, you have to be ready to like put those gloves on and build it. So I want you to think a lot about, if you're feeling this messiness, if you're feeling this like this grossness, if you're feeling a lot of this distortion, don't let that perception of perfect stand in the way of moving towards it. Think about it more as the template and say to yourself, how can I move closer to that ideal? Bottom of the deck on this reading right now. Bam! There it is. That's what we like to see. We've got here our 6 of Cups in its upright. And so we love to see this card right now because here's the thing about it. I got to tell you, I'm just going to say it again. This energy makes it very easy to feel not only like you're overjudging yourself, but you're feeling overly judged by others. Okay? Don't allow the energy of feeling judged by others move you out of alignment with yourself. Be compassionate, right? Hold space. Find that ability and dexterity to understand the adaptability of doing the best that one can. Because when we are feeling judged, but instead we lean towards that feeling of judgment with an act of compassion, we often realize that judgment we were feeling was not actually there. It's something that was in here. Okay. And I'm telling you right now that the feeling the feeling is the vibe right now. It might not be happening. What you're worried about, the judgment that you're feeling might not be happening. It's just this energy that we're experiencing right now feels very, 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 very judgy. Okay. That is our daily cleanse, which brings us to, if you would like to learn more about that judgy energy right now, I would like to welcome you to come to our judgment class, which will be happening this evening over on my Substack. All you need to do to become a part of that is head over and become a paid subscriber, and you will get your ticket for tonight in your email. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and experiencing it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can do so on my site. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site. So I would encourage you to do it there. And as I mentioned, a couple of updates, as I just mentioned, tarot class is tonight. We would love to have you there if you haven't joined us already. All you need to do, if you would like to become a part of our tarot class program, is head over to my Substack and become a paid subscriber. You becoming a subscriber will grant you access to our live class tonight. And also as a monthly subscriber, you will also receive access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library archive. Now, you don't need to catch up. I'm going to do my absolute best in giving you a recap of everything that we've studied thus far, but the material's there for you to receive when you're ready to receive it. You will also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything that we've studied thus far. And if you become a founding member to my Substack, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, but you will also receive full access to the entirety of the Tarot Church Library archive. You will also receive access to a one-on-one mentorship class with me, wherein I will meet with you personally and assess where you are on your personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us on this journey. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Substack, I would encourage you to follow me there for any new updates. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. You'll also be notified as to any giveaway information. And speaking about giveaways, you can find out any information there. Speaking about classes, on top of my standard life path readings, I'm also very happy to offer mentorship courses. These are for any of my clients seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or biweekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my clients seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or biweekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. Also, for my clients, I'm now very happy to offer dream interpretation readings. You can purchase those on an individual level or as a series. I do ask, if you purchase the series of readings, that you make sure to start keeping a dream journal, as we will utilize that dream journal with the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming through to you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again